Andrew, good day at the trials, and obviously nice to see those good horses out again, especially Red Sea. What did you make of him today?
Yeah, he was great. We knew a horse like that who's got good ability on a quicker track would trial well on the poly. He has in the past, but yeah, nice to see them backing out.
How's he come up this preparation?
Yeah, he's coming to hand really well. He had a decent break, so he's probably on a shorter run than a few of the others, but he's quite clean-winded and it does seem to come to hand pretty quickly. When
you look back on his 2-year-old season, when his Group 1 place, he performed really well in good company. How do you reflect on it?
Yeah, we probably threw him in the deep end a little bit early in his last preparation, but he improved with that run, and everything he did, he just got better and better. I thought his run, obviously at Trentham, was very game to go all the way down there and lead them up on that track, and I think, you know, he will have further improvement into this prep.
How long did he spend in the paddock?
He had a good 6 weeks. He had a decent time. He probably needed it, and then we haven't rushed him back. He's just sort of eased back into it, and he's still got one more trial to get under his belt at Te Rapa in 2 weeks.
Okay, and then what's the spring plans for him?
Yeah, that's what we've got to weigh up, really. A little bit unsure on how he will handle the spring wet tracks here in New Zealand. So luckily there is a good program for him in Melbourne. We'll trial at Te Rapa and sort of assess how he handles the track there and decide after that.
NZ Big Kiwi, is that on your mind?
Obviously the owner's a slot holder, so it has to be, you know, like they've obviously got some other nice horses that'll come into contention, but you'd have to think he's one of the leading candidates for Cambridge Stud at the moment, and I think the race would suit him perfectly.
Is he the type of horse who will really develop through the season too?
Yeah, I think he will. Like I said, we threw him in the deep end pretty quick. He was a pretty lightly tried horse, and just with further experience, even Warren said today in his trial he was a lot more switched on.
The other horse who trialled in that was Yaldi. Boy, he's an impressive horse, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He's a big boy, but he's light on his feet. He's got a lovely action, and it's all ahead of him as well. We did trial him in the blinkers today just for a bit of a test as much as anything. He still has the tendency to gawk around and look at things. So in time, I think he may end up in the blinkers. He missed the start a little bit today and raced a little bit keen, but nice to see when the gaps came, he really wanted to burst through.
And absolutely, to see him running through horses the way he did, encouraging, especially being such a big boy. But you look back on his preparation last year, he trialled up beautifully, won on debut, placed in Melbourne in listed company. It must have been a pretty satisfying 2-year-old season.
It was. It was a big ask to go to Melbourne and get him to do that, and he handled it all really well. I think the trip was probably a good thing for him, just for his brain as much as anything, and he adapted to the stable really well there.
What's in store for him for this season?
Again, that's pretty much what it'll be dictated to by how he handles a rain-affected surface at Te Rapa. He has, again, got a lovely action on him. Hate to see him really going around on deep, wet tracks, but we'll leave that up to him and how he handles it.
He's obviously got that size. Have you noticed much about him with the spell?
Like he's always been big and quite physical, and that's going to be his strength, particularly in the next 6 months. The others may catch him up as we get into the autumn, but for now he's a big, strong horse who is very coordinated, so we'll make the most of it.
What's his distance going to be, and can you get him out to a staying trip even in the spring?
Perhaps. Like, he's got all the attributes of a stayer. Drosston's probably haven't yet had the chance to prove whether they can or not. But yeah, he certainly has got the attributes, and that he can relax and switch off a good tempo, and often those horses with good ability can stretch that little bit.
Yeah, a couple of really exciting 2-year-olds. Of the older horses, we saw Aegon back again today. How's he going?
Yeah, he was great. He's had a decent spell after he just got hurt and had that little bit setback before the All-Star Mile, so he had a good time in the paddock. So he would have needed that trial today. Ryan said he felt brilliant under him, but you could feel he was coming to the end of it, so he didn't knock him around, and he'll be a big improver going into Te Rapa trials.
Okay, so he'll trial at Te Rapa. What's the spring program there?
Yeah, again, that'll be weather dependent. We'd love to probably give him a run or two here, perhaps a Foxbridge into a Tarzino first day at Hastings, but he'll handle a genuine bit of cut in the ground would be ideal. We just don't want it to be a heavy 10 ideally and bottom him out first time around. So yeah, what he does will be weather dependent, but again, good options in Melbourne if we choose to go that way.
Yeah, perennial Group 1 performer. When you look back on last season, obviously I guess the Otaki run the highlight?
Yeah, it was. He was just beaten by a good horse, La Creek, who was right on her game and got conditions to suit that day, and I thought he was very game in defeat, and he's thereabouts. It's just a matter of his racing pattern does lend itself to needing a little bit of luck.
How about his longevity? What's he capable of doing this season?
He seems sound and happy, and I thought his track work leading into today has been as sharp and as good as ever, so we'll just take him along quietly, step by step, get the next trial out of the way, and there's no reason to think he hasn't got another good prep or two in him.
Okay, also at the trials, really impressing today, Saint Bathans. We know the quality there, really nice trial, Andrew.
Yeah, it was. He obviously does have the ability to handle rain-affected ground quite well, so it was nice to see him hit the line like that on the poly track on a quicker surface. He always has had good ability, but he was nice and tractable today, and lovely to see him hit the line like he did.
what could be in store for him for the new season?
Yeah, like the next 2 or 3 months, there'll be some nice racing for him. Whether he's quite at that weight for age level just yet, or we're better just to use his rating and place him in handicaps, that's something we'll work out over the course of the next few weeks. But he wouldn't be able to place in a weight for age race. Whether it's the right thing to go there right away, I guess we'll just have to work that out.
Yeah, a horse who wasn't at the trials today, but obviously is a perennial spring performer and at weight for age level, Mustang Valley. How's she coming along?
Yeah, she's coming up really well. She'll go straight to Te Rapa and just have the one trial, probably go to the Foxbridge into the Tarzino, and yeah, once she gets to the mile and if the tracks are still wet, she'll come into her own. We
know she's won both the last 2 legs. What could she do in the Tarzino this year?
Yeah, if it's wet enough, she'll be competitive. That's the key with her, is the wetter it is, the better for her. She gets through the ground as good as any, and she has got speed to win over 1400 on a wet track. Okay,
can you compare it to even last year when she was winning?
No, she's pretty similar. She's much the same horse, just thriving, doing well in work, and yeah, she's going into this prep every bit as good as she has the last couple.
Okay, so we'll see her at the Te Rapa trials, though?
Yep, she will be.